So on my very first van build, I made a lot of mistakes. So this is my second van build, and I have 7 tips that are going to help you avoid some very big headaches. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome back to Random Fix. So van number 2 is here, and I learned a lot from van number 1. And if you guys like learning and you want to learn how to save the most amount of money, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up as you're watching this video. So in this video, I'm going to share with you guys 7 tips or 7 suggestions that you should take into account before you start your van build. I got my van here, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the van, and then we're going to jump into those tips. And I also got the kids involved, so they're going to give us some tips as well, and let's jump to it. So here we have the van. Let me give you guys a quick tour. So this is a 170 extended high roof. The last time I got a 170 and it was about that much shorter. So maybe about another 2 feet, and we'll take a look at that on the inside. This is a high roof, so I can actually stand up in there. There's also a shorter wheelbase, which is a 140. And I have 2 kids, so I need to be able to sleep 4 people in the van. And this is the van for me. And it's a 2-liter diesel, and surprisingly it has enough power and gets great economy, maybe because it's the turbo model, I'm not sure. And this time around I decided to get a van that has panels instead of glass. So let's take a look at the van and why I ended up choosing this particular van. And one of the reasons I decided to go with this van is because the lower panels are already in the vehicle. They're just not very pleasing to look at, so I'll talk about that later in the build. And it's got this L-track from front to back, and there's 2 strips of that, and it's put in by Mercedes, and this stuff is strong. So I've been just laying out some ideas here, trying to see how it would fit. And in the back here we don't have any windows. So this is the van, and it does have some sort of liner on top of the cargo area, which is nice. Nothing up top. The wires are run inside here. On my previous van, which was a 2019 Sprinter, one thing that's also different is the partition. This vehicle came with a partition. Now, I don't need a partition in this vehicle. I am actually getting ready to go and remove it, but I wanted to go ahead and record this video for you guys so you guys will avoid making some of the mistakes that I made on my very first van build. And it is freezing today, and normally I don't need glasses, but when I'm trying to read off a list for you guys, I do need to pay extra attention to this to make sure I get it right so you guys can avoid these mistakes. So the very first tip I have for you guys is before you touch one screw, one nut, or remove one panel, you have to go and take a look at the whole van, take it down to the manufacturer, whether it's Ford, Ram, or Mercedes, and have them do all the work, because even a brand new vehicle has lots of issues. So on this particular van, they had put the L-track in, but many times they had missed rivet nuts. So on this particular L-track, they had 3 or 4 missing rivets. And they tried to give me a hard time about it and saying this was by design. And my rebuttal for that was, if it was by design, why did the person attempt to install them but then stopped? I had the same issue on the other L-track here. On top of that, I had some components in the very front that didn't work, and let me show you guys what those are. So when I drove this vehicle back, this glove box right here was rattling. So I had that fixed, and my parking brake did not work as well. So all those items are fixed, including an issue I had with the slider. The slider was not able to be opened from the outside. Every single time I wanted to close it, I had to reach inside and close it from here. So get all your work done. And the reason I did this is because last time when I built a van, everything that was supposed to be covered by Mercedes, they went and tried to make it very hard for me to have them perform the work because they blamed it on the van build. But I did not touch one wire or move anything that was factory that could have caused the defect. So as a pro tip, please get your work done ahead of time, as you really don't want to deal with the OEMs denying your warranty claim because you made a modification that's unrelated. Tip number 2, keep everything as it could become the missing ingredient for your van build. So on the previous van build, I was originally going to replace the whole ceiling because it came with a factory headliner, but I actually liked the factory headliner. If your van comes with chairs or any other accessories, make sure you guys list it on Craigslist, because I was able to get pretty good money for those items. The chairs sold for about $1,500. So maybe the item will be part of the final build, maybe it won't. So for example, I'm going to be reusing this particular handle here on the partition. And I also have two other handrails in the back here. So I'll be reusing these. Tip number 3, nothing in a van is level or centered. So it is really hard to go and make sure something in a van is plumb and level, because the walls are basically curving in. And so the very first thing that you'd want to do before you start a van build is make a line down the center here using a laser, and they're about $10 now. They're not expensive. And you could also make a line on the ceiling area here. That way it'll give you a reference point. Anytime you want to measure, do not measure from the wall. You'd measure from the center line back. And the same would be true for the floor here. Center line to the wall. That will help you out, and you can use some blue electrical tape like that. Tip number 4, plan ahead and save. So a lot of times when you're looking to build a van, a lot of the components will be out of stock. For example, I'm looking for the tanks for the water, and they're out of stock. So I have a little bit of time here, but if I was in a rush, I would really have to pay a premium to go and get myself some tanks. As you can see, my garage is getting full here as I'm buying a lot of tools and parts that I need for the van. So plan ahead, as you can really try to maximize your savings. If it's near Black Friday, go ahead and stock up. And as far as tip number 4 in planning ahead, there are so many cool resources online. So there are a couple of websites. Sportsmobile is one. They have a diagram where you can just move things around, and you can play with it on the computer to see if it's even going to fit. And they have all the different floor plans. So they have the Mercedes 140, 170, 170 extended, and it's free to use. And I'll link some other software down below too that's free. If I had all the money in the world, I would probably buy a pre-made camper van. However, just from my own experiences of having purchased pre-made RVs, it was a pretty bad experience, so I still might opt out for this. But if I was a billionaire, don't think I would not consider that option, as today it's really cold and my hands are freezing. So check those links down below. And once you're done planning it out online, grab yourself some electrical tape and just mark out the areas. Go ahead and figure out if this is going to give you the amount of space that you need to walk down the center, as you don't want to get a really big kitchen galley and then you're going to have the bathroom here and you're not going to be able to pass, or you're going to have to walk sideways every single time you're going front to back. Make sure the headroom is going to be good enough for you. I'm a little shorter, so this is not an issue for me. If you're tall, you may not want to go and put extra thick flooring on here, as hitting your head on top of the roof is not a fun experience. But trust me on the planning ahead part, as stress is something you don't want to add to the van build, as it'll only take away from you financially and emotionally. So if you want to keep it fun, plan ahead. Tip number 5, keep it simple and accessible. So when you're building a van, a lot of times people will make it so hard for the next owner to go and service something, to upgrade something. You want to try to go and not cover up panels unless you really have to. For example, where the bathroom is going to go in, I'm not going to cover the backside. I will insulate it, but I'm going to make it very easy for anybody that needs access in the future to get access to it. So don't weigh down the van with extra material and cover a panel that really should be exposed. And simplicity is key here, guys. And we're going to talk about redundancy throughout the video. So whenever something can fail, it will fail. For example, on your electrical system, you should have a redundant electrical system, which means if my power stations went offline, something happened, I can just unplug something without any tools and just plug it straight into shore power or a different power source without having to climb underneath the van. Because a lot of times when the accidents or equipment failure happens, it's on the road and you don't have the right tools, the weather is not your friend, or you're stranded in a place and it's completely dark outside and you don't want to freeze to death. Because at nighttime, if a van doesn't have power and it's not insulated, it gets really, really cold. And today it's 27 degrees, but in the van, it really feels like it's 20. The van basically turns into a big metal freezer. By the way, I put a lot of time and effort into these videos, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you are, give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel as well, as I really appreciate it, and it lets YouTube know that I'm bringing you valuable content. If there's something in this video that I don't address that you think is important, please comment down below and let me know what it is so I can incorporate it into the van. And let's jump into tip number 6. And tip number 6 is going to be overbuild. So this is something that a lot of times people don't plan for, and you are going to change your mind throughout the build here. For example, I might be going with a gas stovetop, but in the future I could possibly want to go and convert it to electric. So when I am running my wires in the ceiling area here, it really has no downside to go and maybe put an extra power outlet here, even if I don't think I need it now. You will change your mind as your van builds. So overdo your 12-volt wiring and also your shore power. And if you can get by with 14 gauge marine wire for your camper build, go ahead and upgrade to the 12. It might be an extra 20 bucks, but trust me, you're going to thank yourself when one day you have an appliance that takes a lot of power and you realize you cheaped out on the wrong wire. You have to use marine grade power cable, and it's not cheap. It's going to be about $100 for 50 to 25 feet, depending on the size you get. So do the right thing and always think about the next user of your van. As my last van, I didn't keep forever. And honestly, with this van, my lifestyle is going to change. One day, the kids are going to be too big and they're going to be going off to school. So maybe the van is going to be too big for me and I might have to downgrade, but it's going to be perfect for somebody else that is looking for a roomier van like this. Tip number 7, have fun. Building the van is honestly half the fun. The other half is using the van on the road. And I have a lot of good memories with my kids and my family doing this. So when you are building the van, ask your friends for help because you're actually doing them a favor. As when they're ready to build theirs, they're going to have a better idea on what to do and when to do it, as the sequence of events are very important. And I'll do a video on sequence in the future. And I'm going to leave you guys a bunch of links down below that can help you guys out with your planning and your building. So check those out. I wanted to go ahead and take this extra couple of minutes to share this with you guys and save you guys some pain and some money, as when you do it the second time around, it is so much clearer on what the process should be. And I'm not a professional carpenter. Honestly, I have no experience with carpentry. I am not some craftsman. I'm far from that. I'm just a guy that wants to go and enjoy some times with the family. And I don't have that kind of money to go and buy a camper van that is by one of those outfitters, as they're so expensive. When I was looking to buy the van, I started comparing some of the prices, because originally I was going to go and buy a Dodge, and I'm going to do a video on why I chose the Mercedes again. So make sure you guys watch that video, as it'll really help you realize whether you should be buying a Ford Transit, a Dodge, or a Mercedes. And this is up to you guys on what you want to do. But some of the camper vans are so expensive. I saw outfitters advertising the 140, the smaller all-wheel drive version, and they were starting at $280,000 US. That is a lot of money, guys. It is freezing outside, so I'm gonna get some feedback from the family here, as they were involved in the last van build.
Avoid building inside the van if it's possible. If you have a garage, especially when it comes to cabinetry, measure it properly, build it in the garage, and install it in the van.
Offer help, as sometimes people don't want to ask.
And if they don't offer help, ask for help. Can you guys give this video a thumbs up? Because I'm sitting inside the house next to a warm fireplace, and my dad's working out there, freezing his rear end off, to help you guys avoid some of the mistakes he made.
So get yourself the right tools. And speaking about the right tools, don't be cheap. So this is my Ryobi Impact, and I love Ryobi. I love their battery system and the fact that they are going to be affordable. However, when you're building a van, you want to go with something a little smaller. So on the last van build, I borrowed my brother's DeWalt, and I honestly charged it one time, and I was so impressed. I got myself this Impact, and it's a 1/4 inch, and it's amazing. And you can get these on sale around Christmas time that come with 2 batteries, the charger, and also the drill for $99. So, you know, planning ahead really does pay off, as I mentioned earlier in the video. And this extra 2 or 3 inches of room that this affords me is critical on a van build. You're going to run into a lot of space issues when you're building a van, and this is going to save the day. And the best idea for tools, honestly, guys, is if you know somebody that has a lot of power tools, please borrow theirs. There's tools that I bought for my last van build, and I only used them one time. So if you know somebody that has tools, go talk to them. Let them know that you're going to be respectful to their tools. You're going to give them back every piece in the same condition and borrow their tools. They're going to be so happy that their tools are actually getting used. You're going to be super happy that you don't have to buy a tool that you only use one time. And honestly, if tools had feelings, they might be happy too because they're finally having some use. I don't know. I'm so excited about this. I want to put the camera down and I want to go and take that partition off so I can feel how it is to have the van finally open up and just let my kids sit back here, pretend that they're sitting back here. There's no chair. I already ordered the chair. And you guys are going to love the chair that I ordered. And just like you guys, I have a budget when it comes down to the camper build. And I'm trying to respect my budget and enjoy this once it's done and not regret how much money I put into it, as it could get very, very expensive if you do not stay on budget. And if you guys like budgeting and saving you money, make sure you do not skip one video in the series, as I'm going to drop a lot of golden nuggets throughout the whole series, as there's different lessons in each part of the van build. So I hope you found the video to be helpful. If it was, give the video a thumbs up. Check out the next video here for the van build, and don't forget to comment down below on anything that you feel I should add to the van.